Celere means swift or speedy in Latin. That'll make a little more sense here a little bit. We are building a cloud-based communications platform and data hub to modernize the American legal industry, and we're starting with the criminal justice system. My name is Gabriel Bueller. I'm a husband, I'm a father. I spent just under 10 years in the cybersecurity industry, product marketing, sales, and more recently I'm an attorney. So in my last year of law school, almost a year ago, I had the privilege of clerking in the Spokane County Superior Court under a brilliant judge. And my first hearing observation, if you will, was a gentleman who had been brought in on assault charges, spent too long in jail waiting for a mandatory hearing that never got scheduled because of a clerical error. Now, when I was there, he was seeking a dismissal. He wanted his case kicked out. And it did. It got kicked out for other reasons. But as he stood before the judge, his response was, "I appreciate it, Judge, but where do I go from here? My wife left me. My wife left me. I lost my job. My kids are gone. I'm probably just going to live under a bridge." So you can imagine, it hit me in a way in the conversation that happened in chambers after that. That is a symptom of the system. Another symptom is that more than a third of all attorneys in their first 10 years deal with alcohol abuse because of the meat grinder that is the criminal justice system. That's also a symptom of the system. Another symptom, 70% of everybody in the jail right now is waiting for their day in court. How long are they waiting? According to national statistics, about 135 days waiting to get to trial. All of those are symptoms of the system. The problem is that there are a lot of departments that are a part of this massive criminal justice system. They all have different systems that don't communicate. And they put a lot of money into it to build out these comprehensive systems that don't talk to each other. So what should take a day to calendar, schedule, get things done, takes 5 days, 7 days, 10 days. That's the problem. We're looking to fix it with the hub, the Celere hub. The point behind this is not to reinvent the wheel. It's not to rip and replace what's already there. It's to allow these systems to communicate with each other, update in real time, and most importantly, you'll notice that the defendant is finally pulled into the conversation. They have a real-time place that they can go to get updates on their case. They have a place that they can go to know the status. That currently doesn't really exist today. Now, as for the go-to-market, market size, we're going to start at home, fix at home first, clean up our bedroom. Contacts in the Spokane County Courthouse and Kootenai County Courthouse. We have judges and attorneys that I've been speaking to for quite some time now. They're eager to test it. They'd be a part of an MVP on this. They would also be champions that then go to the Board of County Commissioners in order to get full budget approval. We anticipate that Spokane County alone would spend about $100,000 on this, and you'll understand why in just a little bit. They're one county. Washington has 39 counties. Okay? So it starts to multiply. The U.S. has 3,143 counties, all dealing with the same issue, all with their own courthouses, prosecutor's office, public defenders, so on and so forth. So it does multiply pretty quickly. The business model is essentially like a lot of others in the industry. A chunk of it will be implementation costs, right? The development of building the gateways between these disparate systems. And then there's a subscription model, much like a lot of other service providers in the industry. About 80% of generated revenue will come from that, an annual subscription model that goes into annual budgets. As for the demand, a poll that we took here over the weekend, 41 participants, locals, some here in this room, some part of our network locally, some attorneys that worked in the criminal justice system. 100%. Yeah, it's busted. It's inefficient. 100%, right? 90%, streamlining communication of pretrial process will have a positive impact, right? The 59% is part of the disconnect in the community. Agree that defendants are negatively impacted by long wait times for trials. I don't even think the public fully understands what's going on in the court these days. And one of the other things about Celere is that public trust. and giving visibility into it. This is good data, that's fine, but there's also a Spokane County judge who is the chief criminal judge who said, we desperately need a communications platform that centralizes, notices, calendaring, and helps the systems communicate with each other. And many attorneys that I've spoken to are begging for that kind of system. As for the competitive market, there are some, and they're big. A lot of them occupy a space of, we're going to integrate, we're going to rip everything out, and you're going to do it our way. And that's about how it's operated for about 30 years. Spokane went through, you see they're up there. Spokane has some systems in place. They've already done it. They spent over $500,000 back in about 2018 to help get a system for every department. And most of the departments said, this is busted, we don't even want it. They pulled out before full implementation was complete. So now you have this problem, and that's the case across the country. What we're doing is we're not pursuing a rip and replace model. We're pursuing a model that nobody else is, which is we do integrate, but we use other already built applications, things for notifications, user authentication, things like that. And we're software agnostic. We don't care what current case management systems you have. We're not asking you to pull them out. We're asking to allow us to help them communicate so that everybody is served better. As for financials, this has been an interesting weekend. You know, this has been an idea in my brain that I've been preparing ever since I found out about Sparks Weekend, and I set it up. That initial $50,000 will almost exclusively go to engineering. It will be bootstrapped. Myself and at least 2 engineers are committed to sweat equity, being lean, being agile, and getting that MVP off the ground as soon as possible, probably within at least 3 months, where you're getting through discovery, building your tech stack, integrations, and all this stuff. After that, with that, in that time, we're looking at 1 or 2 POCs, Spokane County and Kootenai County. We anticipate by year 2, we do become more profitable because we're signing up 7 to 10 port counties. Use of funds, as I said, most of it is engineering discovery. There is some sales and marketing that comes into play after that initial $50,000 because it is likely we'll have to raise additional funds to do final engineering. So some sales and marketing comes into play into years, like late year 1 into year 2. And as for milestones, that first milestone is the most important. Getting discovery, getting an MVP, because we have to get it done before the middle of the year so we can start having budget talks with the county and actually get funds in 2025. And finally, the dollar values. I mentioned there's a justification. Right now it costs $117 every day to detain a single individual in the jail. 135 days, 117. You calculate that over the entire year for Spokane County, it's over $1.5 million. If we can cut down time on that one symptom, just that one symptom, we can save Spokane County almost $700,000. I think that justifies a $100,000 spend and being able to put that to other resources like more attorneys and more judges. But it's more than that. The heart and the social impact is why it's needed. It's why we're starting with the criminal justice system and not with big law firms and the civil side of things where a lot of the money is at. And as for the team, mentors and advisors, it's been great. We have an awesome team to get legs on it, and obviously this weekend, Sparks Weekend, everybody has been incredible. The contributors just blew my mind. So thank you so much, and thank you so much. Appreciate it. Yeah, you guys can come up. Questions?
Do you have any data on the number of unique systems? You've got 5 different organizations you integrate. Each one of those could have dozens or hundreds of systems in different counties. Have you got any data on what sort of combination of those?
You mean just in Spokane County or across every county in the U.S.?
Start adding additional counties. What sort of systems they have in place?
A lot of them are based on that competitive landscape that we saw. There's not a ton of court management systems in play right now. The total industry is about 800 million, with 1.5 billion predicted in the coming years. But I know in Spokane County, each department tends to have its own system, And so that would be part of that discovery phase as well.
Gabriel, I love your energy and persona. You're the example, so I love the back. Are you willing to quit your job to do this?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, as soon as this has legs, I'm going to put them on and run with them. It matters to me. It hit me pretty hard. And it almost sucked me into doing criminal work. My wife wouldn't let me, but I wanted to find a way to help, and this is my way that I've determined I can help. So.
The healthcare industry's had similar challenges, and we've seen the rip and replace model. We've read about it with the Veterans Administration recently, and their struggles. What makes your value proposition? What makes you different to enable this in the criminal justice system?
Well, I don't think it's being done in the criminal justice system, but to be clear, e-commerce has started implementing stuff like that. It's not like point of sale systems are all of a sudden innovating and developing these cool applications. They rely on applications like this to work on their point of sale systems, right? Criminal justice system, healthcare system, they're not really exploring this. So to be perfectly clear, healthcare systems could also benefit from something like this as well.
And that's our last question. Thank you.